Welcome to the Books Bible Study, where we are studying the Bible beginning at Genesis, ending at Revelation. Hopefully, you have remained on this journey with us. If you are just starting, be sure to share with others that may have not read the entire Bible. Those that may find it boring, please share so that we can become interested in God's Word. Okay, so right now we are on chapter 34. Today we will be reading Genesis chapter 34. At the end of chapter 33, Jacob purchased some land in Canaan from the sons of Hamor. So aside from the cave that Abraham had bought to bury Sarah, Jacob's purchase of land from Hamar's sons marks the first purchase of land in the country that God promised Abraham's descendants, right? So Hamor is a descendant of Canaan. He's a Hivite. Okay. So Jacob sets up an altar there and he calls it El Elohi Israel, again, setting up that altar to claim that land for the Lord, calling it the God of Israel, which is Jacob's new name. So when you raise an altar to God, you invite covenant blessings upon that place. Okay, so Genesis 34, chapter 34, verse 1. Now Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she had borne to Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. Verse 2. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and violated her. So Shechem is not only a place in Canaan, it is the name of Hamar's son, who is the prince of that same place. So he ends up violating Jacob's daughter. Verse 3. His soul was strongly attached to Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. He loved the young woman and spoke kindly to the young woman. Verse 4. So Shechem spoke to his father Hamor, saying, get me this young woman as a wife. So he's already defiled her, and now he wants to make her wife. Verse 5. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his livestock in the field, so Jacob held his peace until they came. So Jacob found out first. Okay, so verse 6. Then Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out to Jacob to speak with him. Verse 7. And the sons of Jacob came in from the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved and very angry, because he had done a disgraceful thing in Israel by lying with Jacob's daughter, a thing which ought not to be done. So not only was it disgraceful to take advantage of her, it was also disgraceful because he was a Canaanite, right? He was a Hivite. Verse 8. But Hamor spoke with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. Please give her to him as a wife. Verse 9. And make marriages with us. Give your daughters to us, and take our daughters to yourselves. Verse 10. So you shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade in it, and acquire possessions for yourselves in it. Verse 11. Then Shechem said to her father and her brothers, let me find favor in your eyes, and whatever you say to me, I will give. They're trying to make a little sweet deal. Okay, verse 12. Ask me ever so much dowry and gift, and I will give according to what you say to me. But give me the young woman as a wife. Verse 13. But the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father, and spoke deceitfully, because he had defiled Dinah, their sister. So we see this deceitful thing is kind of following into the children, flowing through the generation. So yes, they may have what people feel is a good reason, but let's see if God allows this to take place, whatever they're planning. Verse 14. And they said to them, Jacob's sons, we cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one who is uncircumcised, for that would be a reproach to us. You remember the covenant with Abraham, right? Verse 15. But on this condition we will consent to you, if you will become as we are, if every male of you is circumcised. Verse 16. Then we will give our daughters to you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. Verse 17. But if you will not heed us and be circumcised, then we will take our daughter and be gone. Verse 18. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. Verse 19. So the young man did not delay to do the thing because he delighted in Jacob's daughter. He was more honorable than all the household of his father. So this is what it looks like when we do the rituals, all the spiritual rituals, the fasting, the praying, the going to church, the laying on of hands, the prophesying, the speaking in tongues. This is what it looks like when we do all the rituals with the wrong heart posture, right? The sons of Jacob used the circumcision, right? The sign of a covenant between Abraham and God. They are using this as a weapon against Shechem, okay? So that's what it looked like when you do the things that make you look like you're one of God's children, but God knows the heart, right? Verse 20. And Hamor and Shechem his son came to the gate of their city and spoke with the men of their city, saying, verse 21, these men are at peace with us. Therefore, let them dwell in the land and trade in it. For indeed the land is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us as wives, and let us give them our daughters. Verse 22. Only on this condition will the men consent to dwell with us to be one people, if every male among us is circumcised as they are circumcised. 23. Will not their livestock, their property, and every animal of theirs be ours? Only let us consent to them, and they will dwell with us. Verse 24. And all who went out of the gate of his city heeded Hamor and Shechem his son. Every male was circumcised, all who went out of the gate of his city. So they were willing to do this thing, but it was for selfish gain, right? But again, God knows the heart. Let this be a lesson to us, okay? Verse 25. Now it came to pass on the third day when they were in pain, and that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, each took his sword and came boldly upon the city and killed all the males. Verse 26. And they killed Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah from Shechem's house and went out. Verse 27. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and plundered the city, because their sister had been defiled. Verse 28. They took their sheep, their oxen, and their donkeys, what was in the city and what was in the field. Verse 29. And all their wealth, all their little ones, and their wives they took captive, and they plundered even all that was in the houses. They completely ripped apart this city. Okay. Verse 30. Then Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, you have troubled me by making me obnoxious among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And since I am few in number, he's saying he's few in number, but it was just two, two of his sons. He says, and since I am few in number, they will gather themselves together against me and kill me. I shall be destroyed, my household and I. Verse 31. But they said, should he treat our sister like a harlot? Right? So Jacob seems to have changed his deceitful ways, right, after his encounters with God. But his sons are not remorseful at all. As a matter of fact, they're even more violent, right, and willing to seek revenge to the point of death. They totally annihilated that city, right? And remember, Jacob was a mild man, okay? Esau was the hunter, the wild one. Jacob, he's concerned. He seems to be more concerned with the people of the land coming back to kill him than what happened with his daughter, right? And remember, all of this violence just happened. But remember, Abraham and Isaac, Jacob's father, they were very well respected, right? They were known as men of God. Jacob had just made it back to his people, and his sons have killed every man in Shechem, took their wives, their children, their animals, plundered their houses, everything, right? So this is also a lesson of, in order to affect a generation, in order to change a generation, that requires teaching and discipline, right? The same land that they have blessed, you know, they created altars in this land to bless and create covenants with God in this land. Not only did the sons of Jacob shed the blood of the one who did it, right? they shed innocent blood as well, right? Because the other men didn't have anything to do with it. And so this is a very violent act, right, by the chosen seed of Abraham. Okay, so we will see what comes after this in chapter 35. God bless.